Hey everybody, this is Nick with West-Tech Rigging Supply at westtechrigging.com. This is a video that we wanted to do for a while, and I'm excited that we're finally able to do it. Being a rigging company, as you might guess, shackles are at our core. We sell a lot of them. And today I just kind of wanted to run you guys through the different shackles that we keep in inventory. A lot of our customers may not know how to shop for them. They may not understand the types of shackles that are available, what the differences are. Today we're going to talk about that, give you guys a breakdown of what each shackle represents, why they're different, how to use them. And hopefully when you guys are done with this video, you'll understand not only how to shop for shackles, but how to make the right purchase. So I'm going to start by talking about anchor shackles. And in front of me here, you might be able to see all these shackles look very similar. All of them are made with a very similar pattern, what people call a bow or a bow shackle. Anchor shackle is a technical term. This one in my left hand has a screw pin. This one in the middle has a bolt. People call it a bolt type shackle or a safety shackle. For everyday use, the most common type of shackle you're going to find and that we sell is an anchor shackle. Either one of these, very similar in size and scale. They're both 7/8 shackles with threaded pins that can be tightened through this hole using a spud wrench or any other similar product. These are great for temporary installation. Any shackle that you're going to hook up and remove on a regular basis should be most likely a screw pin shackle. A bolt type shackle comes into play on something like a man basket or what we call a semi-permanent installation. If you're going to attach a piece of rigging or a cable or anything else, and it's not going to be removed with any kind of frequency, or you want it to be in place for a long period of time, a bolt type shackle like this is going to be your best bet. Now all of these shackles, of course, come in a lot of different sizes. You can see with the inventory behind us that just because the shackles on the table here are 7/8 in size, for the most part, 1 inch, 1.25 inches, 1.5 all the way down to 1/4 inch in size are all available. Every size is going to carry a unique working load limit. All of the shackles that you see in inventory behind me and everything on the table have a working load limit on the shackle itself, and that's really important. Some of these shackles are made in the US. In fact, all but one shackle on the table in front of me is made in the USA. Some of the import shackles that we sell meet the same standards as the domestic shackles that we sell. They have to. In other words, they have a working load limit on them. The pin is traceable to the manufacturer. So if you're doing a job for a major contractor, government, any kind of municipality, it could very well be a requirement that your shackle is rated and is fully traceable to the manufacturer. In fact, a lot of municipalities and large contractors won't even allow import shackles, period. But we want you to know that if you buy import shackles from us, we really have one source, one mill. We only carry high quality shackles, and they're going to meet the same general standards as our domestic shackles. The biggest difference we tend to find is the fatigue rating. Import shackles, generally speaking, do not last as long in the field. So you might spend ultimately as much buying import shackles because you're replacing them more frequently. That's why a lot of our customers go with domestic. The Crosby shackles, for example, are fatigue rated, and we have seen this personally in the field with customers who were shock loading their shackles, meaning the load that was being applied was intense and it was fast. The Crosby shackles simply lasted longer than any other shackle the customer tried. So it's important to understand the performance differences. These shackles, when they're overloaded, will elongate. They will give you signs of wear and deformation. And that's how you know the shackle is getting close to its fail point and that you have greatly exceeded its working load limit. And I've mentioned that a couple times now. I want to point out WLL 6.5 ton. You may not be able to read that, I understand that, but at least you know that those letters and numbers are represented on this shackle. So that pretty much covers standard shackle types, import versus domestic, some of the differences there. And again, I want to stress on the import. When you buy from West-Tech Rigging Supply, we don't simply go to market and find the cheapest import shackles available. You will find that on other websites, other rigging shops. They will literally go to market and buy the cheapest shackles they can get and turn around and try to offer them at an incredibly low price. Depending upon your application, those shackles might be suitable, but for our customers, on average, when they're lifting overhead, or if they're lifting in any kind of a critical application, having a cheap shackle is not on their list compared to having a quality shackle. So again, I talked a little bit about a screw pin anchor shackle. Hopefully you guys understand the meaning of what that kind of shackle is. This one here, as you can see, threads all the way into the body, hole in the pin, standard anchor shackle pattern. Now I want to compare that to a more specialty shackle, such as this long reach shackle, which is also technically a screw pin shackle, and this one is painted so tight I might not be able to get the pin out by hand. Notice that's a hex head. It takes a wrench, and actually this is a good demonstration because one thing you'll find with a shackle like this is after the load's been applied, you might need a wrench to back that pin out. Not necessarily a problem, not a reason not to buy it, but it is a different type of pin versus something like this that usually can be loosened by hand. In either event, you might end up having to use a wrench. This would fall into the category of a specialty shackle, as would this. This is a web shackle. The point of this shackle is it's got a wide throat opening so that webbing can lay flat. It doesn't mean that you can't use a shackle like this with webbing. People do it every day. But shackles like this give you proper D over D. What does that mean? If you're using a 1/2 inch wire rope sling, you don't want to put it on a 3/8 shackle, or really even a 1/2 inch shackle. You want that wire rope to bend over a radius that is bigger and makes the wire rope last longer. Shackles like this already have that in mind when they're made. They are built to use with a certain size of web sling, and that's why that valley is wide and flat. This shackle is also what we would call a standard screw pin anchor shackle, but it's black, and you might not have even seen it on the table, and that's the whole point. It's really called a theatrical rigging shackle. Honestly, we sell them in the theater, but a lot of our customers buy them because they're cool. They look good hanging off of your bumper, especially if you have a Jeep or you like to off-road. Black is just kind of a cool, tactical sort of color, and I get that. This is a stainless shackle, again, the same general pattern. You'll notice that there's really not a lot of variation. These are both screw pin anchor shackles. This one's a 3/4, this one's a 7/8. But there's not a dramatic difference. The general curve layout is all the same. So when you go to our website, you're going to want to click on Shop by Category, go to Rigging Hardware, and go to the Shackles section. On the left-hand side, you're going to see all kinds of filters that allow you to really drill down to the exact shackle you're looking for, or at least get close. And again, you can always call us at 1-800-442-7454 and get relatively quick expert help in helping you make a shackle selection. So just to recap, we've got a lot of different base, or what you might call common shackles. The Crosby G209, one of the most common in the industry, if not the most common. We sell more of these than any other brand. Its sibling, in my right hand, this is the G2130. Both those shackles sell in high volume and have a lot of different uses for average common users. This shackle is an alloy version. This is the G209A. A on the end, obviously standing for alloy. What you'll notice between these two shackles, and we get this a lot, what's the difference? Why do I need alloy? You don't. Not necessarily anyway. Now, if you have a small pin diameter, a requirement, I should say, for a small pin diameter, alloy shackles could be your best friend. This shackle is rated at 9.5 tons compared to the standard G209 carbon body shackle. This is rated at 6.5 tons. So you just gain 3 tons of working load limit. Your pin diameter, again, this being your pin diameter, did not change. So you can use this shackle in the same way that you would use the other one and have a lot more capacity and still stay within your working load limits. This shackle is called the G210, numerically one number up from the G209, but a very different body. This is what's called a chain shackle or a straight-sided shackle. Not as commonly used. Shackles like this are really best used for inline loading. So if you have multiple legs or you want to apply your load at an angle, you really don't want to do it with a straight-sided shackle. If for an inline load, straight load, There's nothing wrong with a straight-sided or a chain shackle like the G210. This shackle and this shackle look pretty much identical. What you might not realize is that this one's rated at 6.5 tons. This one is rated at 9.5 tons. And this one, as a 7/8 shackle, is rated at 8.5 tons. This is made by CM. It's called their Super Strong shackle. It really is one of the best values that we can offer in a shackle. It's made in the USA. The orange pin is identifiable. It's still a carbon body, but it's rated at 8.5 tons. So you're in between these two, but you're paying actually less than a standard G209. Wouldn't want to talk anybody out of buying a Crosby shackle. They're a great product. It's our #1 selling shackle. But if you need more capacity, or if you're on a budget, the CM Super Strong line is a good option. And they're available in all the same configurations. Bolt type, straight side, or chain shackle like this, galvanized, painted. Most of the shackles that we stock, if available, we bring in galvanized. And that's just to give our customers the best chance at resistance to corrosion. Any shackle like this that's painted, be advised the paint will flake almost immediately. It's really just for color, for making the product identifiable in the field. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Skookum and Olden. It's a company that's extremely old, located only about 20 to 30 minutes from our shop here in Salem. They make all kinds of products. Some of the products they make that are really popular here in the Northwest are logging-based products. This shackle is a 101. Now, they consider this an arch shackle or an anchor shackle pattern, but you can see there's really a pretty big difference. It doesn't have the same amount of curve to it. So if you want to call this a bow or a bow shackle, just understand the curve is quite a bit less. This is a relatively specific product made for the logging industry. We sell a lot of them. They make the 102 series, which is a bolt type or a safety shackle. They also make the 106, which is a straight-sided version. Several different offerings, all in this yellow color, which is from the Olden product line. Now, this product is a little more similar, a little more familiar if you compare it to something like a Crosby shackle. This is the Skookum 263. This is probably our #1 selling Skookum shackle. Really, it's just a standard screw pin shackle. Pin threads all the way out, as you can see. Really no different. Has a hole in it. That hole, again, can be used for tightening. Can also be used to secure the pin to the shackle. A lot of people use what's called a mouse or a small piece of wire to tie the pin to the shackle so that the pin doesn't become lost inadvertently, and that happens a lot. Now, this shackle, believe it or not, 7/8 in size. Again, this is a 7/8 shackle. This is a 7/8 alloy shackle. This is a 7/8 alloy shackle rated at 12 tons. So if you're looking for the ultimate in working load limit and braking strength, we can't give you anything better than Skookum. I don't have any shackle available to me with a higher working load limit. Their shackles are a little bit on the pricey side. They're 100% made here in the USA, and they boast working load limits that nobody else really even comes close to. So if I could just recap, I would just say, notice the inventory behind us. When you shop on westtechrigging.com, your order might come out of our inventory here. It could come from a partner warehouse closer to you, but we stock a lot of what we sell, and we know the products that we sell. We handle them daily. We are not simply a .com company, and I think that matters, especially when you're talking about overhead lifting products or products that are going to be used in critical applications. So I hope that this gave you guys some good information, make you a more knowledgeable shopper. And again, if there's anything we can do to help you in your quest to find the right rigging shackle, check us out online, westtechrigging.com, or call us at 1-800-442-7454. Again, I'm Nick with West Tech Rigging Supply. Thanks for watching.
In case you missed it, click here to watch our last video. Or click on the subscribe button to be sure not to miss our next video. And as always, you can visit us online anytime at westtechrigging.com.